witches!
Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode.
It is a Court of Silver Flames kind of day. Sorry, I had to turn up my headphone volume. It was really quiet for some reason. Oh,
It's fine, I just washed out.
this
Okay.
was
Anyways.
a lot of pages. A lot of pages.
A lot.
But it was easy to read. It was quick. So we started this episode on chapter 38. And I love that Nesta has girlfriends now.
Yes, it's so good for her to see that. Gosh, that just makes me so happy.
Yes. And so, Gwyn is kind of a surprise. So Emerie is asking her, basically, you had sex with Cassian, didn't you? And she's like, what? And she's all denial. And she's like, because you guys have been giving each other goo goo eyes all day. And she's like, no, we haven't. And Gwen's like, yes, you have. And I think it's hilarious. I just love the dynamic, especially because some of the stuff you wouldn't expect from Gwyn, and you get it from her with the three of them together, and I like it.
Yeah. I really like the innuendos that we're seeing throughout this entire chapter. So, they're all training. Okay, they're around weapons. They're around Cassian. He's Fae. He hears them, and then something to where what is it? They start talking about sword play. Where was it? It was $3.99. They start talking about sword play. She's like, we're going to learn swords, and he goes, we're going to start with wooden practice swords. Over my rotting corpse, am I actually going to put steel into your hands? So then they all kind of start giggling, and then all of a sudden Nesta's like, don't let him bully you. And Cassian goes, dangerous words for a female about to go head to head with me. And then she picks up the sword. She goes, it's heavy. He goes, the real sword weighs more. And then it's just like,
Yes.
And then he's like, yes, double-handed grip on the hilt, choke up too close to the shaft. And then Emerie begins coughing. Nesta's mouth is twitching. Even Cassian had to tamp down a laugh before he cleared his throat. And it's like,
yes,
he knows, and so does she. And Emerie's like, I fucking see it, guys. The innuendos are perfect. They're perfectly placed.
Yeah. So they're doing sword play. They are learning swords, like real swords, not dicks and all that stuff. But
are they?
I love that. Well, I love that they are finding their power, or taking back their power by I don't know.
Well, because Nesta was like, this
empowered.
is vital. I have to show them I can do this.
Yeah. And as she's doing it, she's feeling great and never again will I be weak or at someone's mercy. She's just very excuse me, she's very positive and taking back her power, and I like it.
I also like how Nesta immediately, as soon as she picked up the wooden sword, it's just everything locked into place.
Yeah. It was just what she was meant to do.
Mm-hmm. And then she just actively goes through all the movements and is starting to memorize them. And she chants this mantra never again will I be weak or at someone's mercy or allow my loved ones to be captured or fail or whatever. And then that's just what she's chanting and believing throughout this entire thing. And all of the priestesses and Emerie are sitting there yeah, me too.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Huh. And that's all I had for chapter 38.
Same.
And I only had one thing for chapter 39
Ooh,
because okay. On page 405 to 406, so like the first couple pages. Um First of all, they have what is it 11 now? Like there's
I
new
think so.
priestesses. Um so there's
12. I
11
think
of them
there's
all.
like 12, right? I feel
I
like
don't know.
12 is a word that's been said. I don't know. Anyways.
11, 12, around there somewhere. There's that many of them now, so he's like we're going to need another um tutor. So now Az is there as well.
Yeah, he's taken on
Um
the brunt of every other new person.
yeah. And Cassian is sticking with the original 3 because they're like more advanced. And in the last chapter, I didn't say it, but I just noticed I wrote it down. I love that they're basically doing meditation. Like the Valkyrie process of mind stilling is something that Gwyn's been researching, and it's basically meditation as she explains it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. But Nesta is me anytime I breathe or meditate. Like the thoughts keep coming. They never stop. They're just nonstop and like, how many breaths did I take? Did I lose count? Oh crap, let me start all over again. And then 20 minutes
Yeah.
later and I'm not at peace.
I know it
I'm
sounds
frazzled.
like they even said it in that chapter. They said like it sounds like it should be easy, but it's not. Like meditating is not an easy skill to learn, or everyone would
No.
be doing it and everyone would be zen as fuck.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I also really like how Gwyn is like, I don't want to say fearful of Az. Probably in like an, like, I
A little
admire this person.
apprehensive kind of.
Yeah. Like I like starstruck. I think she's more
Yeah.
starstruck
Cuz he's the one
because
that saved her, right?
yeah, and like he saw or she saw him like when he was fighting, he saw her at her weakest, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god. But she just needs to love Shadow Daddy. He's just a teddy bear that needs a little bit of love and tender carry.
I do ship that. I like that idea of them two together because I feel like she's pushing him towards Elaine, and that's just going to end in heartbreak for someone, whether it be as
Us.
Elaine or Lucian or us. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's not going to end well.
No. But
And I feel like
I
Asriel deserves for it to end well.
yeah. I do ship this though because he's nice and he'll fight for her honor. And
Yeah.
she's
And
learning to
she's
fight for
also
herself.
similar to Elaine in that, like, she was the victim and she's like starting to become stronger in herself as a human.
All thanks
So
to
I like it.
Nesta.
I like
But
it.
yeah, it's
Oh,
it's a
Nesta.
favorite. Anyways, but that's
That's it
what is
for
it?
39.
Yeah, that's all I
For
have.
chapter 40, um, I love that Cassian is so anxious to give them swords. Like, he wants Nesta to learn how a sword is made and all the artistry that goes into it before he gives her swords. Like, he's real anxious about giving her a sword, and it cracks me up. And I also
The
feel that if I was her and I went there to like see how the swords were made, I would also want to participate. Like I would want to hammer the sword as well and see how it felt and how it worked. So I thought
I
that
would
was cool.
too, only because not your artistic way of describing it. My anger.
Yeah.
I'm grumpy, and I feel like if I see somebody hitting something, I'm like,
Yeah, I want to do
let me
that
try.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah. I hear that.
that's why I really need to go to one of those like destruction rooms.
I want to go to one of those so bad.
I think
So
there's one
bad.
downtown, and I'm like, I
Well,
gotta look it
maybe
up.
we need to go there whenever we come visit. Fuck yeah. I'm here for it.
Right? Just take a sledgehammer and just start beating the fuck out of walls. Then they
Throwing
come in and
bolts
they're
at
like,
walls.
wrong walls, wrong walls. What?
Too
I
late.
can't hear you. I have anger problems.
Oh my gosh.
Then
Yes,
the
I
whole
want
building
one of
just
those.
crashes.
That was a support wall. Whoops.
Ooh. Sorry, well, I went through all the walls. Better watch out, timber. Oh, man. Anyways. But despite her keenness on trying the blacksmithing, I kind of wonder if that's going to be her next thing. So she likes
Maybe.
working, not working out. She likes training, working out, but she likes training. She likes learning new things and something that helps her breathe and calm down. That maybe she'll turn up to blacksmithing.
We will see. Um, I was cracking up, but also like, ew, because she is just like, she's training, but she's like just punching and punching and punching and punching. And like, that's how she is getting out her anger and frustration. And I'm like, it's better than drinking, but I feel like there might still be healthier ways to deal with, maybe. Um,
You would think.
yeah,
But it's a baby step in the right direction.
it is. Yeah. And then Lucian shows up,
And he's like, what the fuck?
and Nesta
What's
basically
happening?
burns a hole in the wood.
I want to be like Nesta when I grow up.
Right. Um, and it's cold. I like the fact that her fire is cold is crazy. It makes sense because it's like death, but it's still crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why I haven't been yawning like all day. It wasn't until I came in here and started getting prepped for this, and now my body's like, "Hello."
I'm in my comfy spot. Time to take a nap.
I guess. Ooh
I don't
wee.
know. But
Right.
I'm just so excited. Because, like, we're seeing more Lucian. Like, we're seeing more of
Yes.
Nesta. We're seeing the more dynamic side of Nesta and Cassian. It's like, what happens next?
Yes.
Please tell
I
me.
did not want to stop reading at the end of these chapters. I
I
wanted to keep
didn't. I
going.
was like, I have to move on. I have to do something else right now. I've literally been reading all day.
I switched to a different book. I wanted to keep reading, but sometimes reading this, like when I'm focusing and taking notes, it's less relaxing. I can't just like shut off. So I stopped reading this and read a different book for a little bit. Oh my gosh. But I did not want to stop reading. I wanted to just finish it. So,
Yeah. The, I don't know. I had to switch because I was trying to work and then I'm sitting here like laughing and then crying and then just
all the emotions
like
in these chapters.
bashful. Yeah. And then I'm just sitting here
Yeah,
like,
and then you're
okay.
like, "Oh my god." Don't
Like,
look
I
at
hope
my
you're not
book.
watching me. Yeah.
Right?
And then I just start like the process all over again. So he's probably like, God, she's fucking insane.
you know, it is what it is. Oh my
Listen, a
gosh.
book is so good when it makes you feel all the feels.
Yes, speaking of feeling all the feels, a character is mentioned in this chapter that I was like, hmm. Yes. So in chapter 41, Helion or Helion, however we pronounce that, comes to the Hewn City um,
In
on a
style.
Pegasus. Yes. He'd wanted to enter the Dark City in a golden chariot led by 4 snow white horses with manes of golden fire. Reese had told Cassian, but Reese had forbidden the chariot and horses and let Helion know that he could winnow in or not come at all. So he came on a Pegasus. And then we learn that there are not very many Pegasi left because of Amarantha.
That
Fucking bitch.
witch.
Yes. Which made me sad. We were actually talking today. So in my classroom in the morning, we do a morning meeting. I know it's middle school, so that seems weird, but it's appropriate, I promise. And we do well wishes for people that need them. And then I ask a question. And today's question happened to be, if you could be any animal, what animal would you be? And I did end up putting the clarifier on it that it had to be a real animal. But I almost said it could be a mythical animal too, because I was like, I kind of want to be a Pegasus. I want to be able to fly. Or a
Right?
dragon. A dragon would be cool too. But I think it'd be super cool to be able to fly. So, anyway, I picked some type of predatory bird like an eagle or like a raven or an owl. And all of my paras said that that was very apt. So,
Yeah, you Ravenclaw.
right. They were like, we can see it. And I was like, yes.
I just want to fly away.
Also, so why did I picture Helion as bald?
I don't know. Because the entire time
It,
he's always been, like, he's always described as, like, long locks of,
I know. And
like,
I thought
fiery
like
red,
so
right? Or is it,
it
like,
says
black?
black hair. It on page 422 at the bottom it says and the spiked golden crown sat atop his shoulder length black hair. I don't know why. Like I know he's black, but like I don't
Yeah.
know why I pictured him as bald. Like I picture him as like Tay Diggs with no hair. Like that's
There's
how
a
I picture
lot
him.
of, there's a lot of, like, actors out there that appear or look like that, so.
Yeah, that's how I was picturing him. I can see it like with like dreads or like braids of some
Ooh.
sort,
Like a Jamaican
but
man.
like I can't picture him with like straight partially because that's just not realistic. But
Unless it's, like, the guy's part Hispanic.
that could be, I guess.
Has that really nice, long, black, luscious, raven
Or
colored hair.
even like Indian, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was picturing him as like bald. Like
It's fine. I was picturing him with red hair, even though I read that he had black hair, but I think it's just because of, like, Lucian.
yeah, that makes sense.
That's, I think just because of him being Lucian's father, I'm just like, oh, he's got red hair.
Yeah, that
Even
makes
though the
sense.
mom's from the Autumn Court, like, I should have known that.
Right.
It's fine. But always has to come in style, always has to, like,
Do the absolute most.
yeah. And, here's the thing. So on page 425, um, what is it? A lot of people are, like, underestimating Feyre. Or not Feyre, sorry, Briallen. Like, Feyre is underestimating Briallen, and it's like, don't
Yes.
underestimate her. She was born
I
into royalty.
I fucking called this shit. I knew someone was using the crown on those soldiers. Did I not call that?
Yeah,
I don't
you
think I
did.
said it was Brie Allen, but like I fucking called it
You're just
that
like,
some I thought
somebody
it
has it.
I honestly thought it was Baron, but he's not intelligent enough. Like it makes a lot more sense that it's Brie Allen or Koshi or someone of that party. Um but like I fucking called it. Anyway, I was very excited. That's literally what I wrote. I wrote page 2424. I fucking called it.
Man, no, I'm over here like pissed off that their Pharaoh's like, Briellen's not smart enough to do this. She's stupid or she's dumber than shit. Like
She's
all these things. And I'm
that's what
like,
I like that
I sit here like,
Gryffindor arrogance. Like
well,
Briellen's not dumb. Like
no. Here's the thing.
when has she ever been portrayed as dumb?
Yeah. Like maybe dumb to trust certain people to get shit
Right.
done the right way, but I mean
Not
that's
again. She won't be.
yeah, no. And here's the thing.
Never again.
She was born into royalty. She was, and at that time, you were essentially the supreme. You probably had like generals to kind of help
Yes.
guide your decisions, but
Yeah. But you're also
honey,
very well educated. Like
yeah, like you
the
know the
nobility,
territories,
royalty are always very well educated and educated on strategy and
yep,
manipulation and like
war, like honey,
if anybody
you
is
were
dumb
illiterate till you were
here,
19.
Sarah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And then
Fucking
after that,
Gryffindor
you read
energy.
romance books and maps because you didn't know anything. And I'm sitting here
Yeah.
like,
Fuck off, Farah.
Brielle
Yeah.
is
And then you've
stupid.
got Nesta
What?
over here. Nesta over here, she
Listen,
reads romance books, but she also reads like strategy books and war books. And
and she
now
was
she's reading about the Valkyrie.
yeah, and she was raised in that, not to that extent, but I mean she was able to manipulate a duke into like, oh, we don't know that yet, but like
But it's about to happen.
yeah, her
Yeah.
mom literally made her be a weapon. So like of course
Yeah.
she knows how to do it and what to do. Like she's like Nox, the succubus, when she's like going around the
Yeah.
room and like it's that one, but I'm gonna look over here. Like she has this
Yes.
whole
She
thing planned
knows
out.
how to manipulate people. Yes. Absolutely.
So
Yes.
Nesta, if anything, could probably outsmart Brielle because they know similarities
Yeah.
in the art of whatever diplomacy. Or Feyre is
And
just
that is why Nesta is
I
the
killed a
center of this
worm.
book.
I know strategy, but you know
Killing the worm
hunting.
is literally the only thing she did. She cheated and had help on everything else.
I know. Yeah.
Oh wait, not that she didn't do good things since then, but like, Farrah gets on my fucking nerves. Also,
Anyways,
question. So then Helion is there because they're going to see if he can ward the mask.
yeah.
Why does the mask affect him so badly? I'm curious.
I like how he said like maybe it's cursed in my bloodline or whatever because there's a lot of shit just like that in this world, so that makes sense. But then it makes me
That does
wonder
make sense.
like
But
if
it also
he
could be like he's a curse breaker, right? So like does it sense his power and is like
because his power is way more heightened than Feyre.
right. And it's like don't come near me. I don't want you to break my curse. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows?
If he is strong enough to ward shit that like nobody
Right.
else can,
Yeah.
I'd cower too.
Also, I love that Nesta told them, no, I don't want to know get how to unlock the words. Like I don't want to know. I love that she knows her weakness and she says that she doesn't want to know rather than taking it all on herself and possibly fucking everything up. I was proud of her for that.
She's sharing the load.
Um,
I am a little disappointed though in them being like, well, like what was it? Oh, it's not in case like she gets subdued, it's in case she like is tempted by the magic itself, and it's like, how fucking dare you? Don't think of
yeah,
her
but
like that.
I think that's what she's thinking too, though. But
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Like,
bitch.
um, and then on page 431, there's like just like a big sign of healing, I feel like, because um Nesta is talking about, training um a small unit of females, like possibly the priestesses, Emerie herself, and training them into being like the new Valkyries, basically. And Cassian said, he thinks, planning for the future, it was a hell of a good sign. And I'm just like, yes, and it's a huge sign of healing. Like
Yeah,
here in a couple chapters, she kind of goes the other way, but like it's a huge sign of
it's
healing.
start. It's the what is it? The seven? Is it 7 or 5 stages of grief?
I think it's 7. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like when you think you're healing because you're doing so well, and then you just like backtrack. There's like
Yeah.
a not acceptance. It's like right before acceptance, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yes, it's
And
great. I
then
love it. She's
all I
amazing.
wrote for the rest of the chapter was, well then.
I know.
It's like
I just said Nesta couldn't hold out any longer.
it's like 10 pages long. And so I just wrote well then and moved on to the next chapter.
Yeah, there's a lot of smut in this chapter, in those 10 pages.
Yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot. And good for them, but no thanks. I, I didn't write anything about it.
And I did. You want to know what I wrote? That entire scene was so fucking ruined when they put "rar" in there.
I think I even missed that.
If I ever write a book and I use that word, I feel like that scene's going to be tainted. And if I were to ever use it, it's got to be in like a literal guttural sound. It's got to be a lion making a guttural noise, not
Right?
what?
Rare.
Rar. Are you gonna love me forever? Rar.
It means I love you and dinosaur. Rawr.
Ugh.
It's like
It
a
only
bunch of emo kids.
listen, out of 10 pages though, I only found it twice. Still.
That's too
Still.
many.
Exactly. That's
Oh
one too
my
many. Like,
gosh.
hold on. Where is it? There's one where his what I think he said something about like his blood roared, and I was like, it's a little better, but not what I wanted. And then,
He
um,
growled.
yeah, and what is it? There was another one too, like where it was towards the end, and I was fucking over it. I was like, okay, now we're done. Yeah, I don't even know where it was. Just that it kept happening, and I was like, God damn it!
Stop
This
it.
this whole scene was ruined because of those two fucking words. Ugh. Anyways, so yeah, that was 10 pages
So,
of annoyance.
yeah. Um, I just okay, this next chapter, we find out that the blades that Nesta forged at the blacksmith are imbued with magic. And Amarin is just a
Nesta's
giant
magic,
Nesta's magic, yes.
terrifying.
And Amarin is just a giant fucking bitch about
Yeah,
it all. She's like, she can't know. And Reese is like, or Cassian's like, what? And Reese is like, that seems risky. Like, what if she accidentally does it again? And then Amarin's like, what if in one of her moods, Nesta creates what she pleases just to spite us?
right.
Like, fuck you, Amarin. I feel like I've said that a lot in this book, and I know that we don't know what Nesta did to Amarin yet. Like, they're kind of
Yeah,
keep teasing it, and we don't know. But also, like, fuck you. Like, have you seen her lately? Do you know how much she's healed? Do you like how hard she's working? Just fuck you, Amryn. Also,
honestly. And
maybe giving her a little bit of trust will make her trust you a little bit more.
yeah,
Ugh.
not be a fucking asshole all the time. And she, because of how much she doesn't trust Amon, or Nesta, she's always like, "You better put those swords away. You better do this. You better do that. You better keep it far away from everyone, including her." And I'm just like, but she doesn't even know.
Right. Like she has no idea.
Like
And
she
she's
just wanted to
probably going to
try
be
it.
freaked out.
Yeah. And then, as Amren's parting words, she basically threatens Reese and Az and Cassian and goes, "I mean it. Like, don't unsheath those swords." And I'm sitting here like, probably should have included Nesta on that little like word sentence play that you put there, because Cassian could literally just pick them up in their leather and all, take them to practice, and go, "Here you go, Nesta. Try it out."
Right?
But then he can't get in trouble because he was like, "You didn't include her. She unsheathed it." Because he's a fucking
That's
ass
true.
too.
He is. And he is super fucking petty like that. So I could see it. Um,
Whatever.
so they continue on talking about that for a little bit. And then they start talking about Farah and her winged baby that's going to kill her on its way out. And I
Yeah.
just can't believe we still haven't told Farah. Like, have we not learned what happens when we don't tell people the truth and tell people what's going on? Like, has that not been a theme through this entire fucking series? And it's
Yeah.
continually caused problems. Farah's going to be so fucking pissed.
Yeah. But you want to know what I heard about this? So there's a part in here um that, let's see. So they're talking about an ancient sword that has vanished with time, and Cassian was like, "As a child with recent as one of us had a long stick that was a standard for Gwydion. How many adventures had they imagined, sharing that mythical sword between them as they slew worms and rescued damsels? Never mind that Reese's particular damsel had slain a worm herself and rescued him instead." And I'm like, yes, because he's a damsel in distress. He is the embodiment of Megara from Hercules. "I'm a damsel. I'm in distress. I can handle
I
it.
can handle
Have a
it.
nice day."
Yes, absolutely.
I was like, yep, I could
That
see it.
is so perfect.
I just need somebody to put his face, or like a cartoon of his face, on Megara's body with that entire thing down at the bottom. And then you could just see like the night court in the back, like,
What the fuck? Yes. Oh
uh,
my gosh.
anyways. So at
And
this
then,
point, they're just looking at those swords and
yeah,
just going about it.
and just chatting. And then they start chatting about how maybe the cauldron basically is trying to
Stop it from happening.
give, yeah, well, basically make Reese the High King of Prithian.
I can see it from both sides. I think it would be a great idea because most of the people are going to be on his team to kind of help unite the
Yeah.
front. But after the united front is done and over with, then I can see like the territory is happening and the fighting
Yeah.
that's going to happen between. And
Yeah. I think that there are some other like high lords that like I know obviously Baron and Tamlin are not going to be on their side, but I also like I don't see Tarquin or Helion giving up their. I mean, they're the first two I would see doing it, but I don't see them giving up their power either. Not that Reese would be like overbearing and be like, oh, I control everything, but they wouldn't be the final say anymore. And Rhys has a history of not fucking communicating. And so he wouldn't tell them the whole plan because I get it, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, but fucking still. And then I just could
Can't
see
get them
that
to
being
trust you if you don't
bad.
send forth a little information.
Right.
I don't know.
That's all I had for that chapter.
Um, I had a couple of things. One, I really, really like that Amryn sounds like a crazy person. I mean, she has years on her, like millennia, basically, so she understands these things. But it doesn't make her any less of like an ancient crone that's like, "Don't do this; the world will end."
Right. Right.
And that's all I can think of with her. But I am actually super excited that everybody's like, "Yeah, Nesta's gonna go with Cassian to go see Eris at the spring court," and it's like,
Yes.
this could be great.
Yes. And it is great.
It's the best thing.
It so is.
I got pissed off, but then at the end, I was like, "That's how you do it. That is how you
Yes,
end
because
a chapter."
she immediately puts um puts Eris on
Everybody,
defense.
yeah,
Like he's like, what do you mean you could only contain two of my soldiers? Blah blah blah. You only bothered to contain two. You killed the rest on purpose. And he asked Nesta if she joined the massacre too, and she says, "No, but I wonder, did Briallen arm the soldiers with those ash arrows, or did they come from your private armory?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
get him,
yeah,
get
because
him,
then she's like,
Nesta.
"Such weapons are banned, aren't they?" Like she's playing
Hmm.
dumb, but like, I love it.
So who are you storing the arrows for? Enemies abroad or an enemy at home?
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about." And then she's
Yeah.
like, I win. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
bitch.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And then
then
he finally backs off, and then he starts getting pissed off, and then Cassian's like, "You know what?" And then all of a sudden, everybody just stops and chills. And
because Tammy
Tamlin,
arrives. Oh, Tammy.
tampon. I was like, man, what a way to ruin a chapter.
Right?
I
Go
was like,
away.
this was good. Now Tamlin's here, and now it's just gonna be fucking worse. But surprise, surprise, it was actually really good because I put in all caps, "Fuck yeah, Nesta." If I was by myself, I probably would have screamed.
I wrote fuck yeah, Nesta as well.
Because Tamlin's like, "I could kill you for being on my lands. Um, I have a right to kill every trespasser on my land." And Tessa just looks at him and goes, "Are these still your lands? Last I heard, you don't bother to rule them anymore." And then Eris is like, "Oh fuck! If Tamlin tells anybody I've been meeting with them, that I'm screwed." Nesta's like, "I suggest you keep your mouth shut about this." Tamlin bristled. "You're exactly as nasty as your sister said you were." Nesta laughed. "I hate to disappoint."
Yes.
And then he's just staring. And then this is when she starts to come kind of unglued because she is like, "You are the reason I went into the cauldron. You are the reason my sister went to the cauldron. Like, this is what you've done to me and my family. Elaine, I don't care how much you apologize or try to atone for it or claim you didn't know the King of Highburn would do such a thing or that you begged him not to do it. You colluded with him because you thought Feyre was your property." And I was like,
Yep.
get it in there.
And at
Like,
that point, she points at Tamlin, and
and
Tamlin
Caitlin moves.
freaks out. Yeah. He's like, put that finger down, you witch. And she said, I'm glad you remember what happened to the last person I pointed at. We're going now. And I fucking
Yes.
love it.
And then, right as they're about to leave, because Eris just pops away, she looks at
Yeah, he's
Tamlin
like,
and
bye.
goes, "Tell anyone." Yeah. She's like, "Tell anyone you saw us, High Lord, and I'll rip your head from your body, too." And then that was it. They were gone. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, that was
Yes.
empowering. That makes me want to
Yes.
go to, like, all the people that have ever wronged anybody and go, ah!
Yes.
It's that TikTok that goes, like, "I feel the masculinity. I want to go to war."
Yes. Yes.
That one. That, yeah, that makes me think of that.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
I didn't write a lot for the next chapter, except that just Nesta is a fucking force.
Yeah.
Like,
Elaine talking about Nesta is hilarious.
yes.
Um, because so they're starting Valkyrie training because Cassian's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. We'll combine everything, and then this is when they tell Feyre about everything, well, almost everything, so that she can finally do like the final decision on to tell Nesta or not, or to keep like to do something. So they're talking about it at dinner, and Elaine is like, listen, listen, she's a force to be reckoned with. Like, these are the things that she used to be really good at, and I'm glad she's taking something up to deal with that, and that being her rage. And I was
Yes.
sitting here, I was like, man, because her weapon of choice was like dance and music, and I'm like, man, you know what? I wasn't as much of an angry person as I was when I stopped dancing. Like, as soon as I stopped dancing, I was like, man, all the rage is filling up. When I was
You weren't
dancing, I was
letting it
like,
out.
I wasn't, I wasn't pop locking dropping it. Just kidding. I've never done that out of pure seriousness.
Oh
At
my
least for a
gosh.
recital. Let's be real. I didn't do it for a recital or like a dance show.
Fair. Fair.
That's all that matters. Anyways, but yeah, that's where we learned about her art of manipulation from Elaine.
Yes.
Basically, a duke. Um,
An heiress was mean to Elaine
yeah, and that
because she
pissed
wanted
Nesta
the
off.
Duke.
And the duke was coming to get a new wife, and apparently people or men liked Elaine more, even though she didn't do anything because she's only like what I think she said 12 or 13 at
Yeah,
this point.
really young at this point.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here
Because
like,
Nesta
God,
was
forget.
14.
Yeah, and then Nessa's just like, I'm gonna go dance. I'm gonna show him what he's truly missing.
Yeah, and then he proposes to her instead of this heiress.
Yeah, that pissed the Eris off, but also
Yes.
she kind of got her revenge a little later on. But can you just imagine Nesta dancing, like not understanding or knowing like the dances of that time? Can you just imagine? I think I sent you a video where it was like Nesta with music, and it was her literally just doing. I think he's like Hispanic, and he does like this like ballet swan dance
I
out in the
haven't seen
parking
if
lot.
was it one of the ones you sent today?
I don't know.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Okay. Maybe I sent it to Chloe because I figure like she would understand it because we haven't got to that part yet. But let me tell you, that shit's funny because that's all I can imagine now. Just doing some weird swan lake dance out in the middle of the dance floor.
I mean,
And the
you
Duke
know,
comes
it
and
is what it
says,
is.
I love you. Anyways. So then they
Oh man,
all
this chapter.
agree. Yeah. So at the end of this, they basically all agree. Oh,
That
you know
she's to
what?
be
I never
murdered.
actually put like chapter 45 or anything in my notes, so I'm like, man, I wrote a lot. I didn't. But anyway, so now they all agree that they all have to,
Tell her.
yeah, tell her. And Cassian's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Originally, I was like, that's a good idea because he gets her and he'll be able to do it appropriately. And then he just goes and fucks it all up.
He gets nervous. What would you name a sword?
Yeah, and she's like,
Which,
what the fuck?
that's a question you should ask your kids. What would you name a sword? If you were given a sword, what would you name it?
Oh god, I'm gonna do that now, and I'm gonna write down the answers because I think they're gonna be hilarious.
So I asked Will, I was like, babe, what would you name a sword? Instead of answering, he goes, well, what are the sword for? What do you mean? Well, who's getting the sword? Like, who's the character that gets the sword? Just what would you name a sword? Well, what is the sword made out of? Is it like magic? Like what? Like asking all these like detailed questions. I was like, you're not supposed to know. I am asking you from a perspective that I know what it is, and I'm asking you, the person who doesn't know, what it is. What would you name a sword? And then it just like repeated, and I was getting so frustrated.
Just answer the question,
I was
Will.
like, what would you name a sword? He's like, well, I could name it after the guy that in a book I just finished. I was like, what's that? And he goes, Stabby McStabbertim. I was like, okay, what would you name a sword? Like, what would you, William, name a sword? That was our like 45 minutes of my afternoon arguing about what you would name a sword.
Oh
So, Brandy,
no.
what would you name your sword?
I have no
If you
idea.
didn't,
Probably something like, I don't know, Midnight Curse.
I don't know why I didn't think you would like pick something like that. I don't know. I've I don't know. I thought maybe you'd pick something like literary genius type, and I'm like, she's gonna have some good answers.
I didn't think
Midnight.
about it.
What'd you say? Midnight
Curse.
curse. For some reason, I thought you said remorse for a second. I
I'll
think I would
probably
name it
write that down.
justice, only because some people be like, "Ah, oh, yeah, that's a righteous sword," and then I'd be like, "Nah, I'm petty. It's justice for me, not for you."
I cannot with you. Oh my gosh.
Will was like, I name it. Now I can't remember what it is because I had so many arguments about that today. It was something kind of similar to mine where he would be like, yeah, this, oh, honor, be honor. Because he was like, just think of it like a paladin, like a paladin that you see from the outside is supposed to be something very like like they take an oath and they're that's their law, like they abide by that oath. But then this paladin that you think is, truthful, is actually an oath breaker. And I'm sitting here like, are you talking about your character in Baldur's Gate 3, which is a D&D-esque style game? And I'm sitting here like, are you talking about Saya? And he goes, shut up, we're not talking about that. And I was like, all right, so the swords that you use in that game is called honor. Okay. And he goes, see, because people would think I'm a paladin and that makes sense, but it's not. And I was like, actually, that makes a lot of sense because this is mine. I tried so hard. I was like, nah, it can't be justice, but it kept coming back to me. I was like, nah, it'd be petty. It'd be a petty reason. Yes, you have to ask your kids. I want to know.
Okay, I will do so. Um, but just this, I can't even. I feel like he just kept putting his foot in it even farther. Like first, he's like, "We don't know what manner of magic they have," and Nest is like, "Who's we?"
And
And
then he
he,
goes, fuck.
yeah, he's like, "Shit," and he tells her, and she's like, "How long have you known?" And then she tries to say this isn't, or he tries to say this isn't the place to talk about it. And she's like, "Oh hell no! Like no, you brought it up. You brought it up. We gonna talk about it
We're
now."
doing this now. Yeah. No
Um,
backtracking.
And then he says, "This isn't coming out the way it should. We argued about whether to tell you, but we took a vote and it went in your favor because we trust you. I just hadn't gotten a chance to bring it up yet." Ooh, you voted about whether or not to trust me? Fuck all of you. Fuck every single one of you. Every single one.
And maybe this is the petty part again that has not healed from childhood trauma, but I think Nesta acted appropriate.
I would have been so fucking shitty. Like, I would have been just as pissed.
Yeah, I would have been angry. I would have been word vomiting like she was. I would have said
And
the
I
whole
also
world.
would have needed to know who voted against me.
I'd be like, all right, you tell me because I'm about to go fuck their lives up.
Yeah, and then again, I would have been like, Reese, okay. Okay. Because
I
he's
knew
just worried
that.
about everything. Okay.
But Amryn,
But Amren?
Amryn,
Ooh.
you were buddies. Like, I wouldn't say best friends, but there was mutual respect. So I would say friends.
Yes.
No
Yes.
matter how, like, small that word friends wants to
Yeah.
go, but
Yes. And just shit. Um
yeah. But
then
you know
she
what?
she goes to the
Yeah.
stairs.
And she makes it all the way down. And
She
she's
makes
like,
it all the way down. And that's the end of chapter
and
45.
she makes it to Valaris. And now
And she
she's
goes
ready to go.
straight to Amren's loft. Straight to
I
Amren's
don't give a.
loft. And
Yeah.
Amren and Varian were in bed. Fucking. And Nesta just walks in.
Here we go.
Um,
Nesta loses it, loses her mind.
fucking loses it. 482. Um,
Listen, on this
she's
page, I had to reread it so many times because it's so good. I blacked out. And I just kept reading it. I was like, oh, that's so good. Wait, what did it say? Oh, that's so good.
yeah. So on page
Every time.
482, she says, um, she's basically like, I offer, or Feyre's like, Amren is my friend, has been a member of this court for centuries. I offer her respect. Is it respect she offers you, Nesta Spat? Is it respect that your mate offers you? And Feyre's like, what are you talking about? And Amren's like, don't you say one more fucking word.
And
And
Feyre's
Nesta
like,
didn't care.
oh, yeah. And Feyre
Yeah.
hears the protest, and then she's like, this is true. This is
Yeah.
actually happening.
So, and Nessa didn't care. Couldn't think around the roaring. Rar. Have any of
See,
them told you, their respected high lady, that the babe in your womb will kill you? And then Amren says, shut your mouth. And Feyre's like, oh, fuck. This is real.
that's
She's not
true. Yeah.
lying.
Yeah. And then she's just like, the wings, the boy's Illyrian wings will get stuck in your Fey body and it will kill you both. And then all of a sudden, Feyre's just like, they said it was this, but I didn't realize it was this grave or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
Because
I
they
don't
don't
know.
tell her. I'm just like,
Yeah.
all of the times you've not told her shit to try to protect her, or Tamlin has not
Okay,
told her shit to try to
Tamlin.
protect her.
Yes.
Yes! Like,
Tamlin. It's just a repeat of Tamlin. I think that's what pisses me off because it's like you right here, you're trying to protect her from things that never protected her before because you're acting like Tamlin. You are being more of an asshole than Tamlin ever was because Tamlin just had a need
yes.
to protect. You're sitting here on your hypocrisy based throne saying that you're okay to like not tell her this because it's to protect her, but she's a grown woman.
Yeah.
She could do things herself.
No,
Like,
fuck
let's
no.
go get her killed because she can survive it. Fuck you. Fuck you,
And,
Reese.
like, she could be putting her mind to this too. Like, her mind and magic to helping figure out, like, what to do. And, then at the bottom of page 483, Amren's like, I hope you're content now to Nesta. And I'm like, okay, Amren, like, but fuck you, because you pushed her to this. You poked and prodded and pushed every little button you could find until she broke again. Like, fuck you, Amren, and fuck you, Reese. Because here in a minute, fuck you, Reese.
Yeah. I was really pissed off at this point because I was like, there they go again, making her the villain when really she has been the
Yes.
fucking victim the entire time. She has not
Yes.
once been thought of when it comes to court duties and court needs because of, oh well, she's just a sorry waste of life that just wants to drink and fuck around.
Oh,
No,
but
she's got some,
when we need her to scry
we're
and to
gonna
do this and to do
force her.
that,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna force her to do
we're
this
gonna
because she
manipulate her
has
into doing
free
it.
will.
Yeah, we're gonna manipulate her into doing it by saying if she doesn't do it, we'll ask Elaine. Like, okay. And then the last sentence of the chapter, um, Reese is like, get Nesta out of this city right now before I fucking kill her. Reese, fuck you. You want to fucking kill her because you didn't do what you should have done in the first fucking
And
place,
now your
and
wife is
you
pissed.
created this mess. Yes, you created this mess. You did it. So fuck you, Reese. And then it's
Yeah, that
chapter
really.
47.
Yeah. And I feel
And
bad for Nesta. Like, it breaks my heart because, like, she knows what she's done. Like, why do you have to rub it in? Why can't you
right.
guys just let her, like, just coddle her to let her, like, know that she's safe and all that, and then talk about it when she's not so fucking volatile? Like, you're letting all of this happen when she is literally in a state of anger because and
Yes.
rage because of what you guys did to her.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, and then like, first of all, where the fuck are they gonna go? Like, they really are making her leave the city right now. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
For chapter 47. And then second of all, I didn't write down the page number, but it's page 489. um it says, I think we're in Cassian's head right now.
Something.
It says, Feyre laughed, and the sound was proof that she might have been hurt and startled by the news, but she was indeed adapting to it, would not let it make her cower and cry. He didn't know why he'd expected any less of her. And I'm like, yeah, like you all keep underestimating her and coddling her, but has Feyre not proved, don't get me wrong, I don't fucking like Feyre, but has she not proved over and over and over again that she can handle it? And yet you keep protecting her and instead making things worse. It's just infuriating.
Yeah. And it's like now Reese is like, sorry, I overreacted. You can
You
come
fucking
back.
think?
No, no,
Yeah, no, she's not ready to come back.
no. Cassian's like, okay, well, you might not be so pissed off, but you're still pissed off and she's still upset. So, like, no, we're going to take our time out
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna
And,
have some cool down time.
right. And despite it all, I really do love that Feyre's like, take care of her. Like,
Yeah,
make sure she's safe. Because before, all we hear is Nesta's a bitch. I don't like her. I don't care that she's my sister.
right.
She's not nice. But now she's like, I really do like care about my sister. Like, she's done this, she's done that. Like, I know she's hurting.
Yes.
But I think what really pissed off in that entire thing is that she is all up in her head, and everyone knows she gets in her head. Like, like how many times has she just kind of retreated from herself and just kind of sat there like a shell, and then how many times has she like stopped eating or stopped talking or stopped taking care of
Yes.
herself? Okay,
Over and
Cassian, you're gonna
over.
sit there and let her do this because you're pissed off and you're being short with her? Get up. Fuck
Yes,
you.
and then in chapter 48 on page 493, she makes basically a suicidal comment, and he's like surprised, and I'm like, really?
The signs were there.
Right, like she was drinking herself sick every night and fucking everything that walked and
Here's the
just
thing,
being
too.
very dangerous.
Yeah, and he's always like, well, she never did like fires. It snap, crackles, and pops. Bitch, she literally was
Uh,
not right after her dad died. And you were witness to that. He was
and
laying
no
there
one,
like,
and like she got no help from that.
yeah,
Like nobody tried
like,
to help
oh
her, nobody
shit, it
tried to
doesn't
help her
matter.
channel.
Yeah. Oh, she doesn't like her dad, so she'll be fine.
And also, like, fuck Elaine too a little bit for this, because like you knew that dancing was one of her like passions and something that
And you
helped her
never
when she was
bothered to
younger.
like offer that information up.
Right, or like be like, well, maybe we should have her take dancing lessons or learn. Yeah, I just, ugh. That's all I had for chapter 48.
Uh, I literally only had three things, no, one thing each, one comment each for the next three chapters because it's basically the same thing over and over again.
That's basically what I have too. Yeah, because
Yeah.
right now they're
So
like hiking on the mountain
yeah.
or in
So
the mountains,
they,
and
it's like they're hiking for 12 hours. So they hike for six, they break, and then they hike another 6 hours, and then they break for camp for the night, and then they start over all over again. and she's got to wear a heavy pack. So she's essentially exercising. She's forcing her body to like do this to kind of clear out everything, is what I'm assuming happens when you are avidly always working out, and like this is going to help your brain. I don't know. But so they're just hiking all day, every day. And Cassian is trying not to coddle her, but also try to be with her. And okay, so like I get it. I understand the process that you're doing, and sometimes that works for people, but that doesn't always work. And sometimes that can make it worse. So I think that's
Yeah.
why I was pissed off at Cassian, but I'm also kind of like, I get it. Nesta's kind of a hard ass. She's not going to want to talk to anybody. Just like force her to do something and then she'll be happy afterwards, whatever. Not happy,
Yeah.
but on the road to healing. But basically, he sees her starting to crack and starting to break after like the third day. And
Yeah.
he's like, I know the storm's coming. Like, I see it. And it's like self loathing is such a disease that that was a dangerous game they were playing. In all of
Yes.
chapter 49, I cried internally because I was like, oh, like I get it, honey. And then chapter
Yes.
50, I sobbed. I was
Yeah.
over
Well,
here
and
in
I
my
feel
little
like
world, like,
Cassian was waiting for the storm, and I feel like he was waiting for it to be like rage, but then that's not what ends up happening. But what I said about
oh,
this
yeah.
chapter was on page 498, he like gets pissed at her because she wasn't drinking water and taking care of herself. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Like just yesterday, she told you that she didn't want to be alive. So why would she be taking care of herself and making sure that she is healthy? Like that makes no sense.
maybe once an hour, you should stop for like 10 minutes and take the canteen off of her back and then fucking give it to her and then place that
Right.
bitch right back up there and continue on.
Yes, like make sure she's drinking. Like she told you that she's not okay, but you didn't listen. But anyway, and then at the end of the chapter, the storm breaks
And she
and instead
sobs
of
uncontrollably
yeah, she just starts crying.
and like screaming out all the pains that she has dealt with. So, like, she feel like she can't stand fires because all she hears is her dad's neck breaking. She can't do this because of these reasons. She feels worthless because she allowed her sister to go out and do this. She wasn't able to save this. She wasn't able to save that. Like, she couldn't save
Yep.
anybody. She just feels worthless. She doesn't deserve to be here. He loved, like, and then she's like talking about how her dad loved her up until his dying end. No matter how much of an asshole she was to him, he still loved her, still fought for her, everything. And then she just loses it and then just like cries into his arms and everything. And he like breaks and is consoling her. And I'm sitting here like crying at every single thing. Like I could just see it happening and I was crying too. Don't
They are
worry, girl.
exactly what each other needs though. Because then
Yeah.
he's like, I could tell you this, I could tell you that, all these self-deprecating things about himself. And then he's like, but I'm not going to tell you all of that. And I'm just going to read this whole fucking paragraph because I highlighted the whole fucking paragraph. He said, I'm going to tell you that you will get through it, that you will face all of this and you will get through it. That these tears are good, Nesta. These tears mean you care. I'm going to tell you that it is not too late, not for any of it, and I can't tell you when or how, but it will get better. What you feel, this guilt and pain and self loathing, you will get through it, but only if you are willing to fight, only if you're willing to face it and embrace it and walk through it, to emerge on the other side of it. And maybe you will still feel that tinge of pain, but there is another side, a better side. And I feel like anyone who is depressed or down, maybe you're not ready to hear that yet, but that is so real. Like it does get better. And they are exactly what each other needs. And that's all. That's all I have. That's it. That's all I have to say. And that is the end of part 2.
Yeah.
That is the end of part 2. When we start or when we talk again, it will be part 3, Valkyrie.
I really do like how they ended that chapter with Nesta smiling a little bit as she started doing her sword work. I was like,
Yes. Because he knows her and he knows what she needs and they get each other and I love that.
yeah. Oh,
So,
they're so perfect.
no. Oh,
I love them so much. But
I do
yeah.
too.
Hey, that wasn't bad. We were like, man, that's 12 chapters. Can we make it in an hour? We almost did.
We almost did. We did really good. So,
I'm proud of us. Okay, anyways, until next time.
bye.